The biggest concern, I think, over everything was that it was just all brand new. Not having had the ownership experience before, so this being the first time, there was a lot of aspects of the business that were new to me. And that being the case, there were contacts that I needed to make and evaluations that needed to be done that were new to me as well. So I think the biggest concern was getting a really accurate and reliable interpretation of where the practice is at, and then making sure that we could find an agreeable and a common ground between myself and the seller. I think, again, trying to get an accurate evaluation of where the practice is, where it is now, but also what's that mean? What about the past years? Evaluating the performance and the trends of the office, and evaluating those, and then being able to arrive at a reasonable evaluation of the practice. That was really, of course, the very starting point, but something that I couldn't have done myself. So getting there, and then we worked out quite a bit at the beginning, piecing together parts of the profit and loss statements, referring back to bank statements, trying to reason through these various financial statements and getting a solid grasp of where it was. It was huge. It was huge because evaluating the number of different financial statements that we did, evaluating this practice versus industry standards. Where is it and where should it be, or where could it be? So having a consultant who had kind of a frame of reference like that, knowing where we are and what kind of opportunity this office provides, that was huge, to have someone else being able to offer that interpretation of the office. Well, I know I couldn't do it myself. There was one, I think, in understanding the business, there's too much involved for me. Yeah, again, this was my first ownership experience. So trying to do it myself meant evaluating financial statements, and evaluating financial statements that I haven't seen or evaluated before. Also comparing it to standards in dentistry that are somewhat new to me. I knew some of those, but to be able to evaluate a practice across the board was not something I was capable of doing myself. And then the other element is trying to negotiate, to come to an agreement with the seller. I didn't feel like that was a big problem in our case, but it was still an element that it was helpful to have a buffer and have someone else to work through on that. I can't think of a single piece of advice, but I think what does come to mind, though, is the frame of reference that I didn't have, being a new buyer. That equity in dentistry provided the experience of having done this across years before me, whereas in my case it's the first time going through it. So that's where it was beneficial, was really having just a frame of reference, being able to understand aspects of the business and of the transition. How's this compare? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it something that we need to work on, or just get a good evaluation.